It was a day full of comeback gold medals for Team USA. Quincy Hall winning a gold medal. The U.S. men's water polo team with a massive comeback to advance in their chase for a gold medal. A steeplechase comeback for Morocco, and a ton of world records being broken, especially in cycling, speed climbing, and in the weight room. We also talk about China's diving dominance as they continue to compete with the USA for the most gold medals. And in baseball, the Yankees are hot once again as they've tied the Baltimore Orioles for the top seed in the American League. This is Coast to Coast Sports, a lot going on in the sports world. I want to open this today with Quincy Hall, the king of the comebacks for Team USA. What a race that was. I feel like we focus so much on the 100-meter and the 200-meter, and I get that those are the most fun probably to watch. I mean, they're just so exciting, and Noah Lyles is such a personality. Before him, Usain Bolt and Sha'Carri Richardson and Gabby Thomas and Julian Alfred, the breakout star this year. So I get why we focus so much on the short sprint, but the 400-meter was a fun race. I think Quincy Hall has to be talked about. He's electrifying. He came out of nowhere. He was way in the back, and about the last 100 meters of the 400 meters, he passed four guys. You see the guy behind him in the picture, Britain's Matthew Hudson-Smith. He's the silver medalist. He was in the lead the entire race. I almost felt bad for Hudson-Smith because I really thought that he had it. I really thought that he had it, and I think he really thought that he had it. I don't think Hudson-Smith even considered the possibility of Quincy Hall passing him, because the first 300 meters, it was a battle between Mozala Samakonga of Zambia and Hudson-Smith. Samakonga, he also had a really good race. He was going neck and neck with Hudson-Smith. So I think if anything, Hudson-Smith thought it would be the Zambian who was going to pass him, but no, it was not Muzala. Muzala, again, credit to him, he put together a really impressive bronze medal performance, but Quincy Hall, he ran past both of them at the very end. It was very reminiscent of what Cole Hawker did yesterday. It was very reminiscent of what Noah Lyles did yesterday. I mean, it's impressive what the United States has been able to do on the track. It's even more impressive what the United States has been able to do, just considering how they've always been doing this with comebacks. They've always been doing it with comebacks. We're going to talk about another U.S. athlete who put together an exciting comeback in steeplechase in a second, but I just want to continue talking about Quincy Hall for a little bit more. So Quincy Hall, he's out of Kansas City, Missouri, went to University of South Carolina, and it was spectacular. It was his first Olympic gold medal. Muzala takes the bronze. Jareem Richards out of Trinidad and Tobago, he took fourth place. Then Kirani James out of Grenada taking fifth. So once again, the Caribbean islands doing very good for themselves in these Olympics, just missing out on the podium there. Hall finished at 43.4, Hudson-Smith 43.44, Muzala at 43.74, and then Jareem Richards 43.78. So he was very, very close, and everybody was right there with him. Other U.S. athletes, Christopher Bailey came in sixth, Michael Norman coming in eighth. All three of the Americans, though, in the top eight. Again, so impressive, so impressive. But let's talk some steeplechase. Kind of a weird sport. If you're not familiar with steeplechase, it is, again, on the track. And the steeplechase is when you go around the track and there's 4 hurdles. You have to go over 4 hurdles. One of the 4 hurdles, you land in a little pool of water. The other 3 are just regular hurdles. So it's not really hurdles. It's more of a long distance running event combined with hurdles. And the water thing, I'm not exactly sure why they put that in there. It's kind of, I don't know, like, comment down below. Do you guys know how did they get the idea for this sport, for this event? Like, steeplechase seems super random, kind of a fun sport to watch though. But it was a huge comeback for 2 runners in particular. So the first half of the race, this is the 3,000 meters, so it goes on forever. It's an 8-lap race, which is, again, it's fun. 8 laps is a fun amount. It's a long race though. It goes on, it takes a while, but for me, the longer the distance, the more suspense. So I really like these long distance races. It's just, there's so much suspense, there's so much to watch for. The Ethiopians got out to a really good start. There was 3 Ethiopian runners in the event, and they were all way out there. And leading the way was Ethiopian Lamench Girma, Lamecha Girma. He was way out in front, followed by two other Ethiopians who were right there with him. And so you could tell what the strategy was. The Ethiopians were trying to push the pace. They were going really fast. They wanted to lose as many people as they could. That's likely because they didn't think they could compete in the sprint event. They knew that some of the guys that you're seeing in the picture, who we'll talk about in a second, could out sprint them. So the Ethiopians pushed the pace a lot, but about halfway through the race, things started to get really, really interesting, particularly because the guy from Morocco, the defending gold medalist from 2021, Sifain El Bakali, you see him on the left. Sifain El Bakali, he's huge. He's probably, I don't know, the dude is tall. He's I guess he's only 6'3". He looks bigger than I thought. Long legs, he can jump over pretty much anything, and he was fantastic. He put on a show. So he moves straight ahead of the Ethiopians, and then also coming ahead of the Ethiopians was the Kenyan Abraham Kibawat. And you see him in the middle of the picture. Kibawat, he jumped over the hurdle at the same time as Girma, and Girma fell. So Lamech Girma of Ethiopia fell on the hurdle. It was kind of scary. It was kind of scary. He had to go to the hospital, actually. He is recovering. We hear that he's doing okay. He's in a neck brace, though. He's literally in a neck. He had to get stretchered off. It was bad. So the leader goes down. Kibawat moves towards the top of the leaderboard, as does El Bakali. And in the very, very back was the United States runner, Kenneth Rooks. And my brother and I were watching this together, and he thought Rooks was way out of it. But you're never out of it in this race, because Kenneth Rooks had the sprint. He moved from the back of the pack to the lead within one lap. That is how crazy things can change, and that's why I love these long-distance events. He moves all the way to the front, and the United States pulls off the comeback of the century, but you're like, did he win? No, he did not win, because then with about 100 meters to go, Sifain El Bakali, the defending gold medalist, he put on an even quicker kick. He kicked himself all the way to the front of the finish. He surpassed Kenneth Rooks. Kenneth Rooks does end up with the silver medal, though. But Sifain El Bakali, I mean, that was a really impressive race. He won the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. He's won the World Championships in 2022 and 2023. So that makes basically 4 straight years of El Bakali at being the best at this event. Because he won the Olympics in 21, the World Champions in 22 and 23, and then the Olympics again in 24. That is a really, really impressive run of dominance for him. Kenneth Rooks, though, still with a massive comeback to get the silver medal. And then it was the Kenyan Kibawot, Abraham Kibawot. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry. But Abraham Kibawot, he finishes with the bronze medal, and he also ran a very impressive race, the 28-year-old. It was a fun race. Highly recommend watching some more steeplechase. Another thrilling comeback for Team USA was in the men's water polo quarterfinals. Team USA against Team Australia. This was a good one. USA has not been to the semifinals in water polo in quite some time. I believe it's the first in 16 years, potentially. But Team USA, they've been hot. Now, Australia got out to a lead. They were up 4-1, but Team USA battled back. They battled back, and they ended up taking a 6-5 lead late in the fourth quarter. So they were up 6-5. Australia, though, they did not go down without a fight. Australia wound up coming up with 2 goals in the last 5 minutes to make it 7-6 Australia. But then, with just 30 seconds left, the U.S. on a power play, the United States, I'm trying to find who it was. I believe it was Max Irving. Maybe I'm wrong. Max Irving? No. Yeah, it was. Max Irving, he connected with 30 seconds left to give the United States a tie game, 7-7. So then they go into tie games. So a guy named Luke Pavillard of Australia scored 4 of their 7. Pavillard, clearly a freaking beast out there. But he could not carry his team all the way to the finals. The because we went into penalty shots, and this is the most hype I've ever been for a water polo match. I'll just be completely honest. I'm not a huge water polo fan. I work with a bunch of water polo players, and I always make fun of them for it. But this game was really hype. So we went into penalty shots. Adrian Weinberg, the U.S. goalie, he did really well. He lets the first two in, so it was 2-2. And then we got Hans Daub and Alex Bowen, each cracking one of the shots in the penalty shot. So it was 2-2. U.S. tied. Then Adrian Weinberg makes a save. U.S. makes a shot. Now it's 3-2. Then Weinberg makes another save. So U.S., if they make the fourth one, they win, but they didn't. They didn't win because Australia gets the block. So now it's 3-2 U.S., and then Australia scores on their fifth. Now it's 3-3. And you're like, it all comes down to this. Marko Vivic was the guy who was up there ready to make it. Marko Vivic. And he made it. He made it the final penalty shot. He delivered for Team USA. They win 4 penalty shots to 3. So the final score technically was 11-10 if you count the penalties. And Team USA, they advanced to the semifinals. It was hype. It was intense. And this is what I love about the Olympics, is that you never know what sport is going to catch your interest. You never know what lame, boring sport, because no sports are lame and boring. That is what I'm trying to get across with this YouTube channel, Coast to Coast Sports. Yes, we love football. Yes, we love basketball. Yes, we love baseball. Water polo can be fun too. All these sports can be fun. Track and field can be fun. And speaking of more fun sports, I want to get, again, to basketball, though. I want to go back to basketball as Team USA's women's team is chasing a gold once again. The women on Team USA basketball took on Nigeria yesterday. They win 88-74. Good games from the women: Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young, AJ Wilson, Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, and the rest of the team putting together a show. They win 88-74, up by 14. The rest of the women's basketball quarterfinals also happening yesterday. France took down Germany in their home country. Belgium taking down Spain, and Australia with an 85-67 win over Serbia. So for the semifinals happening tomorrow, the USA against Australia, and it'll be France against Belgium. 2 really good games. The United States and France both in the semifinals for men and women. Is France officially the second best country besides Team USA in basketball? I feel like they might be. The men's French team is playing against Germany right now. If they win, they'll advance to the gold medal match. There's a chance we could see the U.S. versus France for both the men's and women's basketball. So France might officially have taken over the crown as the second best country for basketball in the world, which would be quite a title. I feel like that is a pretty big title. You know, that is worth something. But Team USA, taking on Australia. Again, they're expected to win. Australia has been good this Olympics. They beat Serbia 85-67. That's a pretty good win. They beat France, actually. Australia beat France 79-72. So Australia is not a bad team. You know, they've been very good this Olympics. They beat Canada 70-65. They did lose to Nigeria, though, 75-62. And that's kind of how this thing works, is all the other good countries are pretty close together. And then Team USA is just better than everyone. So, again, expect Team USA to win. Wouldn't be surprised if it was close, but I expect them to beat Australia. And eventually, if it is France that they play, that'll be a really fun double gold medal match, men's and women's, US versus France. I think that would be really exciting. And I hope that is what we get. I really do hope that is what we get. So I said I was going to talk about world records being broken. There were a lot of world records being broken yesterday. The Netherlands, in their short track speed cycling, I guess it's called sprint cycling, they smashed their world record not once but twice as they defended their Olympic gold medal. The Netherlands, go figure, the same country that is really, really good at speed skating in the Winter Olympics is also really, really good at speed cycling in the Summer Olympics. It was Harry Laverson, Roy Vandenberg, and Jeffrey Hoogland with a blistering 40.949 seconds It was thrilling. And they were beating records in the heats. I mean, they were so good. Britain taking silver, Australia taking the bronze. The same three Dutch cyclists won gold in Tokyo 3 years ago. And before that, it was a British team that had won gold at Beijing, London, and Rio. Britain's Ed Lau, Hanish Turnbull, and Jack Carlin. They were no match for the Dutch. In the men's team pursuit, which is a 4-team pursuit, Australia took down Italy to win the gold. They also set a new world record, 3 minutes 40.73. Italy had set the previous world record at Tokyo. But then on the women's side, we also had a bunch of world records being broken. New Zealand with the world record at 4 minutes 4 seconds 6.9. So all these world records falling in speed cycling, and we're wondering why. Why? Is it possible that the track at the velodrome is part of this? The answer is yes. So an article from Tom Davidson in Cycling Weekly. There's an extra meter's width on this track, which makes it one of the fastest in the world. So they were predicting this. They were predicting that the world records will fall. It is a unique one in the world of cycling. It is the same standardized length at 250 meters, but it's 8 meters wide, which is a meter more than others, giving riders more momentum as they charge down the banking. This gives the perfect playground for record hunting. According to Britain's Jack Carlin, it's really, really quick, just the way it's built. And so I don't really understand cycling, but I guess, yeah, so since it's wider, it makes the transitions bigger. It's the amount of track you have, so it's a little bit longer. You have more track to work with, and I guess that is why it's so fast. But yeah, a ton of records being broken. I was watching. I mean, it happens really, really fast, which is why, like, it's honestly kind of hard to follow. But yeah, it is really fun. It is really fun. There are, I think it's 7 world records that got set and then were rebroken, and then really fun, really cool to watch. Check out the speed cycling if you want to. But it wasn't just cycling when the records were falling left and right. Speed climbing. A really fun event that I'm going to go back and watch some more of because I didn't catch nearly enough of this, and I love watching climbing. Sam Watson, American Sam Watson, he is 18 years old. He already held the world record for the fastest 49-foot route. You're thinking 49 feet. So they're going up 49 feet. That's a lot. That's really tall, right? That is like 2 stories. And they're doing this on these little rocks. You can see in the picture how fast. Guess in your head. I'm going to tell you because I would have said like maybe 10 seconds, maybe 9 seconds. Sam Watson, his world record, already had the world record. Then he went 4.74 seconds. That was in a heat. And there were actually 5 competitors in the heats that topped his old world record. But he still has the new world record at 4.74. 5 people, though, broke it throughout the heats. Unfortunately, though, Sam Watson did not win the gold. So after winning the world record in the heats, he took on China's Peng Wu in a head-to-head climb. So they both raced at the same time. And these things are intense, but they're very, very quick. Like, if you thought that the 100-meter dash is way too fast, happening in 9 seconds, these guys are going up 49-foot climb in half the time it takes Noah Lyles to run 100 meters. It is insane how fast they're able to climb up these things. Honestly, do they need to make it harder? Like, maybe it's just too easy for them. Watson losing by 0.08 seconds to Peng Wu. Peng Wu with a 4.85, Watson at 4.93. So then Watson went over to the bronze medal heat, and he put the world record, and he was finishing at 4.75. So Sam Watson had the record at 4.74. Then he slips up in the semifinals, 4.93, loses. Then at the bronze, he goes at a 4.75. Just goes to show how sometimes the favorites don't always win it. So then in the final, it came down to Indonesia against Peng Wu. The only thing to stop China from taking another gold was Indonesia's Vedrick Leonardo. And Indonesia took the gold. Vedrick Leonardo puts up a time of 4.75 seconds. Just 1/100th slower than the world record. So we saw 4.74, we saw multiple 4.75s. There was a 4.77 in there in the heats. Peng Wu with a 4.8. I mean, it was incredible. The amount of records that we saw falling in sport climbing. No complaints from Sam Watson about the format. He said just a couple millimeters of an error matters so much. He said he doesn't think the pressure cost him. He did stumble a tiny bit, cost him about 0.2 seconds. He says his goal is to get under a 4.6. And he says he knows, even despite getting a bronze, he knows that he'll be okay. The good news is China did not take the gold. So the U.S. continuing to lead China in a very, very close medal count lead, which I want to talk about right now because the medal count is coming down to the wire. And Team USA still on top. Indonesia, congratulations, grabbing, I believe it was their first gold of the games for Leonardo of Indonesia in sport climbing. But let's look at the medal count. Despite the U.S. dominance on the track, China has retaken the lead in the medal count, 28 golds to 27. The United States still at 95 total medals. They're going to win the total medal count. But the gold medals is what I really care about, and it's really, really close. 28 to 27. China versus USA. Now, again, keep this in mind. Team USA is going to win golds in basketball for the men, basketball for the women, and very likely also soccer for the women. There's a chance that Noah Lyles adds one later today. If he does, that's at least 4 more, which would put us at 31. China, again, I still think the pressure's on China because I'm not sure how many more guaranteed medals they have. They've won a lot in diving. They've won a lot in the pool. But they don't have a ton more guaranteed medals. Team USA is pretty much guaranteed 3 or 4 more medals, and China is not. So I still think the pressure's on China. They have to get a couple more if they want to win the medal count race. But this has been back and forth now for the past week. It's a really good match. It's a heavyweight match. I love that it's China and Team USA. I feel like these two countries represent two very different things on the world stage. Because China and USA, economically, they're divisive. Religiously, they're divisive. They have very different religious beliefs between the two countries. China has been politically very different, as well with being a communist country against the United States, who claims to be the enemy of communism. I mean, there's a whole lot there. There's a whole lot of a rivalry. It's a historic rivalry. And I love that it's that this is what it's coming down to. We've replaced Soviet Union with China, and I'm so glad. I'm so happy because if the U.S. was just dominating, it would be boring. It'd be boring. So good thing China did not win another medal in rock climbing earlier today. That one went to Indonesia. You look at the rest of the medal count. Australia, 18 golds. They're pretty firmly in third place. France and Britain are now both over the 50 total medal mark. France at 52, Great Britain at 51. South Korea and Japan tied with 12 medals. Italy is up to 30 total medals, 10 golds. And the Netherlands has reached 10 gold medals, a lot of those coming in cycling. So the Netherlands having a pretty good Olympic Games. They're 9th place right now overall. Germany is very close to their 10th medal. They're at 9 right now. Canada still hoping to get to 10 golds. They have reached 20 overall medals. New Zealand in 12th. 5 gold, 6 silver, 2 bronze. And then Brazil and Spain are into the double digits in the total medals as well, 14 and 13. We are now at a total of 74, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 80 countries have now won at least one medal in these Olympics, including Zambia, Slovakia, Portugal, Peru, Grenada, Egypt, and Cape Verde. Cape Verde winning their medal in boxing. A bronze medal in boxing. So that is pretty cool. Moldova with 2 medals. Moldova, not something I thought. They have 2 medals in judo. That's kind of cool. Cyprus with a silver medal. That's kind of rare. That was in sailing. Cyprus with a medal in sailing. The men's dinghy. Their second ever medal for Cyprus. We may have to make a video about that. Congratulations to Cyprus. And there's Morocco with that big medal that they claimed in the steeplechase. But yes, looking at the medal count, Ireland in 13th with 4 gold. Look at that. And a lot of countries are nearing the double digits. Hungary, Sweden, looking to get themselves into the double digits. Sweden with Hungary both. I love the consistency. 3 golds, 3 silvers, 3 bronze for both of those countries. And at the top of the list, though, Team USA, 95 total medals. They're going to surpass 100. So that should be cool. That'll probably happen later today. But it's Team USA against China. That is the big one. And I want to talk a little bit about China's dominance in the pool. They've been so good at diving. Like, taking a look at what events China has medaled at, they took the gold in artistic swimming yesterday. That was a big one. But look at this. They win both mixed and women's doubles in badminton. But look at this diving. I mean, this is almost a clean sweep. They won the men's 3-meter springboard, the men's synchronized 10-meter platform, the men's synchronized 3-meter springboard. They win the women's 10-meter platform, the women's synchronized 10-meter platform, the women's synchronized 3-meter springboard, and then they took silvers in the other 2. So there are 8 diving events at these Olympics. China with 6 golds and 2 silvers. That is incredible. That is so impressive for China to be able to pull that one off. I mean, with that level of dominance, that explains. I mean, so China has 28 gold medals, 6 of them coming from diving. Their pool diving dominance is not something to be taken lightly. How are they so good at diving? Like, when did China become the best at diving? I don't know. They've also been really good at shooting. Air pistol, air rifle, rapid fire. They've done very well for themselves in shooting. They've won golds in table tennis, golds in weightlifting. So they've done very well for themselves. But I'm still just shocked. Like, that diving dominance is really, really impressive. And what's crazy is this isn't even their best Olympics at diving. In 2021 in Tokyo, China won 7 of the 8 gold medals in diving. I mean, that is just absurd. And they were very close to getting all 8. They went, obviously, 6 golds and 2 silvers. They've been the best nation at diving ever since 1988. It's incredible. I mean, their work ethic at diving, they must have some really good coaches and some really impressive divers. Because just, like, how? I don't know. Great Britain with quite a few silver and bronze medals, but China, just, wow. Kang Hongchan of China took the gold, while Chen Yuxi taking the silver in the final diving event. That was the 10-meter for the women's individual. Korea's Mireille Kim in the bronze. That was the last diving event that we saw at these Olympics. So it's officially done, all 8 of them, and China with at least 1 medal in every single event. It's incredible, man. I don't know how they do it. I really don't know how they do it. But they do it. Like, do kids in China really love diving? Is like, because I feel like in the USA, diving is a niche sport. Is it not a niche sport in China? Is it more popular there? Maybe it is. I don't know. I'll have to continue to look into that. But good job on China's part. That has been a huge reason why they are currently leading in gold medals. Is there 6 medals in diving? Some more history being made on the wrestling field. Mejian Lopez. Is he the greatest wrestler of all time? He just became the first Summer Olympian in any sport to win 5 consecutive gold medals in the same event. He defeats Chile's Yasmani Acosta 6-0 in the 130 kilogram final. in Greco-Roman wrestling at the Champ de Mars Arena. He won this event in Beijing 2008, in London 2012, in Rio 2016, in Tokyo 2021, and now again in Paris 2024. Out of Cuba, Mejian Lopez Nunez. He left his shoes in the mat after winning the gold medal, symbolic of his retirement. So he is done. He's calling it a career. And what an impressive career it has been for him. He gave his coaches a big hug, saying goodbye at the mat. So how about that? He went out in style. First Olympian ever to win 5 gold medals in a row in the same event. He's not the first Olympian ever to win 5 gold medals in 5 different Olympics. I believe it's happened in equestrian, and I'm actually going to talk about that in a future video. There's an equestrian rider who has won, I think, 8 Olympic gold medals, but they were not all consecutive. So what Lopez Nunez did is he did it in 5 consecutive Olympics. His nickname is El Terrible for his imposing figure and sheer dominance. He was 25 in the 2008 games. He is 42 now, and still as a 42-year-old. And remember, the Olympics, they test for everything. So he's not on steroids. He's not on substances. He is all natural. 42 years old, and he's still a wrestling champion. That is that's impressive, man. What are you doing at age 42? Here's a fun statistic. In between 2021 Tokyo and these Olympics, he did not compete at all. I'm sure, obviously, he trained, but according to his coach, Raul Trujillo, said it's very important to conserve his body. He circled the mat after his victory, said it was a legacy. He fulfilled the commitment that he had to himself. He gave it the very best that he had. So yeah, there are many athletes that have won 5 gold medals at the Summer Olympics. They have all needed to participate in team or multiple events to do so. Oh, that's interesting as well. So there are other athletes who have won 5 gold medals at 5 straight games, but those are athletes who have done it in team events, such as maybe a basketball player, or a soccer player, or an artistic swimming player. So there are team athletes who have won 5 straight games, not individual athletes. And he is the only one to do it in the same event, 5 straight Olympics. Also, guys, the weight consistency is crazy. He won the 130 kilograms all 5 times. Very consistent with his weight. Katie Ledecky has come out and said she wants to match that. So she has won 4 straight Olympics at the 800-meter freestyle, and Katie Ledecky wants to compete in the LA 2028 games and make it 5 straight in the 800-meter freestyle. So if she does that, she'd be the 2nd Olympian ever, Summer Olympian ever. I guess it's happened in the winter maybe, because they didn't say first ever Olympian, they said first Summer Olympian. So maybe there's probably a skier out there, some kind of alpine skier who has won it in 5 straight Olympics. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. But congratulations, nonetheless, to Mejian Lopez Nunez. What a career it has been for him. Let's finish the show with some baseball talk. The New York Yankees have tied Baltimore for the best record in the American League and potentially the best record in all of baseball. They're very close. Philadelphia still has the best record in baseball at 68-46. But the Yankees and Orioles now tied at 68-47, just a half game off the best record in baseball. New York 8-2 in their last 10 games. They did lose their last game, but they have been way better. So the Yankees obviously went through a big losing skid, but they are back in business. Baltimore 6-4 in their last 10. They've both surpassed Cleveland now by half a game. So Cleveland is half a game off the number 1 seed at 67-47. They're on a 5-game losing streak, as Minnesota is who they'll take on next. But Cleveland has been kind of struggling lately. For them. So yeah, they take on Minnesota today, I believe, tomorrow. The Yankees taking on Los Angeles today. Baltimore does not play, so the Yankees, if they win... No, Baltimore does play. Baltimore against Toronto, so both of them playing against bad teams. But the Yankees have really put things into the next gear, and it's making the race for the number 1 seed. This is a 3-way battle for the number 1 seed in the AL. Houston is quite a bit back. But Baltimore, New York, and Cleveland, yeah, that is a really good matchup there. Looking at the divisional standings, Boston is 6 games back of them. Minnesota has now pulled within 3.5 of Cleveland. It would be insane if Minnesota could catch Cleveland, but they might. They're trying to. Minnesota's lost 2 straight. Cleveland's lost 5 straight. They begin their series tomorrow. It's a 3-game series. If Minnesota can sweep Cleveland, they'd pull within half a game of Cleveland. Kansas City is 4 games back of Cleveland. So the AL Central, it was really competitive early on. But Cleveland has kind of controlled it for a while now, but now they are beginning to slip up. And the NL, Philadelphia is still holding the best record by half a game overall. The Dodgers, their lead in the division has been cut to 3 as they've lost 2 in a row. The Diamondbacks and Padres have both won 4 games in a row. So Arizona, who they have been really hot lately too, they're 8-2 in their last 10. So is San Diego. Dodgers at 66 and 49. Both the D-backs and the Padres are 63 and 52. So it is very, very close in the NL West. They've both pulled within 3 games. We're watching that division race very, very closely. Could Arizona or San Diego, if they were to pass the Dodgers, that would be crazy. The Dodgers are literally a super team, and they can't get more than a 3-game lead in their division. That's wild. Not a single team in baseball on pace for 100 wins. Part of the Yankees run has been Jazz Chisholm. He's been impressive, to say the least, since he got there. I believe he's homered 5 times. He's been really, really impressive, and he has been exactly the spark that the Yankees offense needed. Jazz Chisholm, great acquisition, and again, it proves sometimes you have to make acquisitions in baseball. In any sport, you have to make acquisitions. Of course, when the Olympics are done, we'll talk a lot more baseball on this show. With that being said, I'm going to call this a show. We'll have another episode later tonight, recapping days 12, 13 of the Olympic action. This is Coast to Coast Sports. Thank you so much for watching.